Hey, Leslie here, and just had a great question come in from one of our community members that I wanted to answer with a quick video. So the question is, she had a possible business idea that came up in her mind, and she was asking me for advice. I have really struggled with this in general as a person who's really an idea person. So I've gotten a lot of ideas over many years of business, and I've learned really the hard way on how to first do some inner questioning before just jumping out of the gate and putting a lot of chi and energy and time into it, only for it to not fall through, or to not go anywhere, to really just like not work out and feel like in the end, well, that probably wasn't the best use of my time. And this is really hard when you're an ideas person and we do, healing and helping work that we know would be a great idea and would be helpful, but ultimately that's not the question to ask. So I'm going to give you 2 foundational questions for evaluating a new business idea, as well as 2 next stage questions as well, to really help you answer this question and keep your chi aligned with creating a sustainable business that pays you a very decent living, excellent living, working with ideal clients. Okay, so let's start with the foundational questions. Step 0 foundational questions 1 and 2 are starting from the end in mind. So what's the outcome that I want to happen from this endeavor? Is it that I want to create relationship with practitioners or power partners? Is that I want to get new clients? You need to be sure and clear of what your ideal outcome is. There might be other side benefits and other things, but preliminary question number 1 is, what is the outcome that I am desiring? So be clear on that. Number 2 is always a check-in of who is really involved. Are these people that we're talking about, are they my ideal clients? And this might seem easy and straightforward, but we often stray from it. So what's inherently suggested here is a reminder, and you'll hear me say this like a broken record, that always underneath is laser beam clarity of who my ideal people are. And you want to make sure that you know so much about your ideal people that you're going to be able to answer this preliminary question. Because maybe your business goal is to give more talks and you get actually invited to give a talk, but where you're invited to give a talk is very likely not going to have a high percentage of your ideal clients. Now, that doesn't mean maybe you say no right away, because maybe you're at the beginning and you just need to practice giving talks. And so that could be the benefit. So then you go back to that number 1. What's the outcome that I want? I want to practice getting comfortable. Okay, well, are these my ideal clients? No, probably. But my outcome is to purely just practice giving a talk. So you can make an appropriate decision for the time. I did this a lot at the beginning, just get out there and do talks. But then as I got busier, you'll often find that you'll get requests for your time or to give a certain talk. And at that point, when I get those inquiries where people are like, hey, can you come and do this talk for free? Sometimes I will, if I feel inner calling. We'll talk about that on the next stage. But if it's not aligned, if it's not going to serve my ideal outcome of I'm in a stage of business where I'm pretty busy, my marketing is going well, and I just want new clients, and I'm not going to be giving a talk to ideal clients, then I'm probably going to say no, thank you. This is so important for learning how to really balance your chi, which is a big part of sustainable business. Okay, so we've talked about preliminary, what's the outcome that I want? And 2, are my ideal clients involved? And make an appropriate decision from there based on your outcome. Now, next level, if you've passed through those 2 things, here is the next way to evaluate those questions. This is the same question that we're asking when we're trying to find a new niche or essentially a new idea. So the first one, when we've decided who this offering or idea is going to be for, the question that we're asking is, do these target people, this target audience, do they know that they have a problem? This is a big one, because often, especially as practitioners, we know what the problem is, but the person themselves might not know that they have a problem, or they might think that the problem is different. For example, I know as a natural health practitioner that people's diets are often, the food that they're eating is often a huge effing problem. But very often, especially in my non-ideal client version of just like normal people, the most people in society, they think they eat pretty well. So even if they're eating the standard American stuff that they think is healthy, like, oh, I drink orange juice every morning, I'm healthy, that's really shitty diet, but they don't know it. So that fails question number one. I cannot sell them something that is clean up your diet because they don't think or know that they have a problem. So that's not a good entry. That fails that test. Take it off the table. Number two, if they know they have a problem, are they willing and able to pay for it? This is key. In a perfect world, and if you are a nonprofit organization, you're in a different category, but most of us doing healing businesses are not. So the question number two, are they willing and able to pay for it? Like my example of someone who doesn't even know they have a problem, maybe they do start to know that they have a little problem. Yeah, I think my diet could be better. But is that pain point strong enough that they're willing to put money towards it, put their resources, time, effort, and money to hire you as a professional? If the answer is no, it's not something for you to focus your chi on, because in business, we need the cycle of chi of offering something that people are willing to contribute their resources for so that you can keep offering. This is how the business cycle works. And it's a good exchange of chi. So the other aspect that can come is that, for example, sometimes this happens with when you want to focus on children, or people often say, well, people who are out of work or struggling or homeless really could use this. Again, do they know they need it? They might. Are they willing or able to pay for it? If not, you have to connect with the organizations who are willing to pay you to help other people who cannot pay for it. So these are the two key questions. One, does my target person for this idea, do they know that they have a problem? And two, are they willing and able to pay for it? And there's other techniques that we talk about in other lessons in terms of building the plane as you fly it. I totally, wholeheartedly, really, if you take nothing away from all of your work with me, to remember that we always want to market test things before we create it. So many times, and this is a big healing business owner mistake that I have made myself more than a couple of times, is we get an idea, we create the thing. I make all the audios, I do all the classwork, I make the handouts before I've actually really tested whether or not anybody is even fucking interested in what I'm doing, let alone are they willing to pay for it. So over and over again, we need to bring ourselves back to, is this something that people actually want? And there's lots of ways to ask some ideal clients, put it out there on your Facebook group, chat a little bit about it, see what people's reactions are, and then move sort of steadily down the way. And you can always create content and create ideas as you have people enrolled, maybe at a lower level or a test group, before you invest your time and energy wholeheartedly creating something that is not really being asked for. This is really the spiritual equivalent is really being in touch with what our dharma is. What are we being asked to do? And so that means we leave the mind to the side. We don't just come up with ideas. We really listen with our heart in our inner spiritual personal growth path. What is being asked of me? So in the outer version, sort of connecting along that spectrum, we do the same thing in business, where we're really listening and we're testing. We're not just going by the mind. We're sitting with it, we're putting it out there, and then we're listening and waiting to see what comes back before taking action. So I hope this was helpful. I'm here to support. I'm wishing you and your ideas great things. The world really does need the things that you have. So don't just discount an idea, but maybe its purpose is to just stimulate another idea or to pass an idea on to someone else. You need to hone down in on what you are being asked to do, and that creates the most sustainable, flowing, ease-filled, profitable business that you can have. And that helps you support more and more people out in the world as well. Sending you lots of love.